All right, race day event. We still have 3 days left to get the event started. Then once you start, it is a 5-stage event, so you have 5 days to complete it. Although, given that at the beginning you get 3-hour instant service and instant tune-up, if you take advantage of that for first 3 hours, it's available. So if you run right through, there aren't that many goals, and none of the goals are really all that complicated. So you should be able to finish under 3 hours as long as you can race continuously for that duration of time, right? So, let's see, what got me in so late? Well, life events. And also, if you look at my motorsport dollar bank here, it's been kind of depleted. So I've been upgrading Formula One cars. And in order to meet the PR requirement to complete this race day event, I need about what I have right now, not counting any earnings, because as I said at the beginning, first 3 hours you got instant tune-up available. So if I would actually prefer to get all the tune-ups in place before I even start the very first race. So that way you don't have to worry about it if you don't finish within 3 hours. You don't have to wait for tune-ups to be done. And yes, you can run through all 5 stages without having to wait each stage 1 day per stage. It's not like that. So this one you can run right through, and there's some 50 gold also to be won. And considering that you don't necessarily have to spend gold to complete this event, that is, you're netting 50 gold. So anytime you net gold through an event plus a car, that's a good day in my book. So in this video, I'm just going to be kind of doing an overview of the event. So if you haven't started yet, give you an idea of what you're gonna need. And they have that new thing, team principle business happening in this event. And that's really the primary reason why anybody would run through this event, is so you can level up your team principle. Because only way you can level up your team principle is by doing tune-ups. And tune-ups, as you all know by now, are only available during these special events like race day event. So yeah, let's check in. And out of the 3 teams, Porsche and Aston Martin is a little bit simpler and slightly cheaper because their base PR is a little bit higher than the Chevy. So if you go with either Porsche or Aston Martin, because with this rendition, doesn't matter which car you drive, you will be given an option to, if you decide to drive one of the cars that you've already won from the previous event, or you bought it, and you level up your driver, then obviously your base PR is going to be higher at the beginning, which means you may not need as many upgrades to complete this event. So there's kind of, and that's okay, because at the end you will actually given a option to pick the car to win. So by running through a car that you already own, you're not really missing out on anything. You'll be given the same opportunity to pick up a new car. So that's a good thing to know. And is that going to be a better strategy? Probably in a long run. Because you want to level up one driver so you can go as far as, like, you can unlock more tiers by upgrading that one driver to bring the PR up so you can go deeper in the 2020 season of the endurance GT racing, right? So that's the way I would recommend it. I haven't determined which way I'm gonna go here. And let's see. So yeah, the base PR for Porsche is the highest, 63.7. I wonder if you can see it here. I don't think it shows you. Yeah, they are not going to show you yet. All right, so anyway, base PR for Porsche, just take my word for it. If not, you can check on the Fire Monkeys website too. But anyway, it's 63.7. It's the highest out of the three. And then Aston Martin, base PR is 63.6. So it's 0.1 PR lower than Porsche. And then the Chevy, the Corvette, starts at 63.5. So because it starts at a lower PR, your upgrade tree for Chevy is going to be a little bit different. But the cost at the end of the day are going to be very, very close. There's not going to be that much of a difference in tune-up cost. So for either Porsche or Aston Martin, the PR requirement, 72.6, can be met by getting essentially six tune-ups in all four categories for the cost of $1,867,100 motorsport dollars. And let's see, the reward for going through all 5 stages and completing the event, the total, you win 125,000 motorsport dollars back, which means the net cost for Porsche or Aston Martin is going to be 1,742,100 motorsport dollars. And to accumulate that amount essentially at the beginning of the event, obviously earning 200,000 motorsport dollars per day, if you're starting from like 0, then you're gonna need 9 days to bank up enough to complete this event, right? Now, if you obviously there are only 3 days to start this one, but once you start, you have another 5 days. So technically, it's more like 8 days. And as you race, you also win gold. So, and hopefully you already have some in your bank that you don't need full 9 days, because that'll be really cutting it close. So anyway, so that's the number, the tune-up cost and the net cost for Porsche and Aston Martin. Now, Chevy, Corvette, the upgrade tree that I think is the simplest way to do it is 5 on the, what's the first category? It's the gearbox mapping, right? 6 on power unit optimization, 5 on brakes, and 8 on suspension adjustment. So you're maxing out suspension on this upgrade tree. And that will cost you $1,897,600 motorsport dollars. So, I mean, you are spending about 30,000 more by going with Chevy than the other two. That's how it ends up being. And then the net cost, of course, is going to be just by that much higher. So, because your winning is still the same. So net cost would be 1,772,600 motorsport dollars. And to accumulate that amount, if you're starting from zero, it still is going to take 9 days because you're going to need like 1.8 million in the bank when you're starting out. So, sure, let's check in and find out how this goes. I'll just pick the Chevy here just to show you real quick. And in terms of the number of events, you got 4 goals in first 4 stages, and in the final stage you got 5 goals. And let's see, in this rendition of the race day event, you definitely don't want to skip through, because skipping cost is gonna be quite a lot higher than the last time. So if you skip all the events, it's gonna cost you more than the cost of the car. So that makes absolutely no sense. I don't think. Okay, you get, I guess you pick up gold, but you're spending like 2.5 million motorsport dollars to skip through all of them. You can just buy the car for just under 2 million. So skipping does not make a whole lot of sense this time around. And oh yeah, why does my instant service deal not in effect? That is because I restored on this device. So when you restore, you actually have to restart the game in order for the instant service and instant tune-up deals to kick in. So hang on just a second, let me try that. All right, let's do this one more time. Restart. Right. So now that I restarted, if I go back here, instant deal should be ready. There we go, 3 hours. So for, as I said, the Chevy Corvette, we're gonna get 5 upgrades on this gearbox mapping. By the way, you definitely want to get, I don't think, no matter how high your driver level is, I don't think you're going to be able to meet the PR requirement of 72.6 without getting at least 16 tune-ups. And 16 tune-ups is an important number because with 16 tune-ups, you can max out your team principal. Basically, team principal, there are 12 upgrades, basically 3 upgrades in the 4 tune-up categories. So 4 times 3, 12, right? And yes, they do cost gold. So to max out your team principal, you need some 6,000 team principal experience. And for each tune-up you get, as you can see here, you get 375 team principal XP. And it doesn't matter what step upgrade you're getting, every step, every category, the XP boost is always 375. And up until or up through level 1 through level 8, 375 is the cost to level up your team principal. And once you get to 8, starting from level 9 through 12, it's going to be double. So you need twice as many tune-ups to level up. So that's how you end up with the 16 tune-ups you're going to need to max out your team principal. And when you max it out, you still have to spend gold to actually level up. You can accumulate your XP, but to implement it, you need to spend gold. And the total gold that you end up spending is 333 gold. So not necessarily cheap, but think of it as, it's an upgrade. 333 upgrade on a car of the this caliber seems pretty standard, and then of course you got the more upgrade that you need if you want to go deeper in the season by upgrading the driver, which is something else entirely. Anyway, and the total PR boost that you get by maxing out team principal is 2.2. So it costs 333 gold, and you can boost your car essentially PR by 2.2 PR point. Is it worth it? Well, it's not so much about worth as much it is if you want to make some progress in the season. You kind of have no other way around it. So there you go. You gotta pay to play. So here. So as you can see, you get the tune-up, and then you earn the principal XP. And as you can see, level 1, pretty easy to attain. And so here, let's access our team principal here. As you can see, if you want to level up, it's going to cost you 7 gold at the beginning for to get to level 1, or is it getting up to level 2? And you can pick, but I think at the end of the day, you want to get all of them. So I guess from level 1 to level 2 cost 7 gold, right? And PR boost, regardless which category you get, basically stays the same. You get 0.1. I was like, I cannot read that grayed out number where we're starting. Gee. So, but for now, I'm gonna hold off on this team principal business for the time being, since it costs gold and I am not ready to spend gold on this car yet. So let's head back into the tune-up screen here. And as I said, with the Chevy, you're gonna need 5 steps of tune-up in the gearbox mapping. So let's go ahead and do that. And as I said, 16 tune-ups, you can get 4 across the board. Then you get your 16, but of course that's not going to be enough. But that's going to be enough to level up your team principal. So if you rather spend gold, but get a more permanent PR boost to your car, then you may not need as many tune-ups. But in my opinion, I think it's, unless you plan on like going through the 2020 season right away after you win, which I'm not planning on doing, at least not right right away, then I can burn motorsport dollars on these tune-ups. That's fine. So let's try this. Get the tune-ups done first. Right, and once you hit 6,000 team principal XP, basically there's no more. You don't get any more for getting more tune-ups. So let's see, right now I'm step 4, so I need one more. All right, and then I'm gonna need 6 in the next category, power unit optimization. It deals with, of course, the acceleration. So as you can see, it doesn't matter how expensive or how cheap the tune-up cost is, the principal XP boost is exactly the same, 375 per tune-up, right? And we need to bring this up to 6. It does give a little bit higher PR boost per tune-up. It costs a little bit more, but also gives you higher PR point boost. So I think it's worth it. So there's 5, and we're gonna need one more here. And that will do it for that category. Let's move on to brakes calibration, which we're gonna need 5 here. All right, so still earning those team principal XP, but we're getting pretty close to the end. I think we got 2 more that is going to actually add to the principal XP, but then this is going to be the last one. So 6,000 has been reached. So let's see, this one we need up to 5. So that's done, and then we need to max out this final category. But here, let's check back in here. 6,000. So that's the maximum amount of boost that you can give the team principal. So now if I start upgrading this, you don't see the message about how much, principal XP is being applied here, because there isn't any more. We're maxed out. So, but that's okay. I suppose if you spend gold, you might be able to max out, convert the team principal XP to your PR boost by spending some 333 gold. But nah. I feel like motorsport dollars are more temporary than the gold. So all right, so we're up to 71. That brings up to 71.4, up to 71.8. And remember, we need to bring it up to 72.6. So one more tune-up left, and we're at 72.2. And the final tune-up here in suspension will get us right up to 72.6. And it is cheaper to go there than doing this guy, because this is pretty pricey, even though you do get a little bit higher PR boost. It's not necessary, so why spend extra, right? So for the other 2 cars, as I said, Porsche and Aston Martin, you can go with a 6 across the board. But for Chevy, I'm going with 5 on gearbox 6 on power unit, 5 on brakes, and 8 maxed out on suspension. So that's 5, 6, 5, 8 for the total cost of $1,897,600 motorsport dollars. Right, and then you get the 9.1 PR point boost to bring your PR up to 72.6, which is gonna be enough to basically complete the event. And let's see, yeah, as you can see, my motorsport dollars pretty much gone now. So I'm not going to be able to skip through these goals to show you how much each stage pays out. Now, there is no PR requirement till you reach the final goal of stage 2. So without getting any upgrade, you are able to finish stage 1. And there's 5 gold to be won there, along with 5,000 motorsport dollars. And then tier 2 or stage 2 completion, you're gonna need to bring your PR up to 65.2. So a few upgrades, not a whole lot, but at least a few. Not upgrades, see? A few tune-ups will get you through there. And the payout, once again, is gonna be 5 gold, but the motorsport payout is doubled up to 10,000 motorsport dollars for tier 2 completion. Tier stage 3, in order to complete stage 3, the PR requirement is going to get bumped up to 67.5, and the gold reward is 10 gold, and motorsport dollar reward will be 15,000. And then tier 4, at the end of tier 4, the PR requirement is going to get bumped up to 70. The gold payout is 10 gold again, and the motorsport dollar payout is going to be 20,000. So these bonus motorsport dollar payout that you get does not count against your daily limit. So even if you already won 200,000, you'll still win those. And then the final stage, stage 5, you got 2 locations or 2 points of reward collection for motorsport dollars. So upon completing 3rd goal of the tier stage 5, you pick up 25,000 motorsport dollars. There's no gold pickup, but at least you get some motorsport dollars. And then the final 2 goals of the last stage 5, the PR requirement does get bumped to the last number, 72.6. And upon completing the event, completion of the the goal 5 of stage 5, you'll win 50,000 motorsport dollars plus 20 gold. So yeah, so that does kind of sum up how much it's going to cost, what it's going to pay out, and so on. Kind of an overview of the event here. And in order to complete the 2020 season, once you win this car, PR requirement is 65.4. So obviously, if you max out your team principal, that actually will get your PR high enough to meet that PR requirement, I believe, because you're starting in 63.5. So if you add another 2.2, that's 65.7. So yeah, that's one way to do it. The other way to do it would be upgrade your driver level, which also costs gold, and that one costs a little bit more than the team principal. And the team principal, by the way, applies to every driver. There's only one team principal. That's why it's a team principal, versus driver level applies to that particular driver. So if you look here, this one. So there are 2 drivers in Team Chevy, but there's only 1 team principal. So if you're undecided, team principal is probably the better way to go. So yeah, that'll do it for this video, since there really isn't much more that I can do. I am completely depleted here. So all right, so stay tuned. Oh, by the way, one more strategy. If you are thinking how much you're gonna earn from each goal, and if you're thinking, well, I don't want any of those winnings to go to the waste by earning more than 200,000 daily limit, then the way you can kind of time it is the first 4 stages. If you sweep through the first 4 stages, your earning from actual race rewards would be about 200,000. And I think going through first 4 stages probably will take a couple of hours, a little less than that actually, but just generously speaking. So if you know in your time zone when the motorsport dollar earning limit gets reset, basically start the event 2 hours before that, complete 4 stages, and once the limit has been reset for daily earning of the motorsport dollars, then once it's set, then you still have another hour to complete the final stage and collect all the earnings there. So that's one way to do it. So yeah. Anyway, as I was saying before that, that'll do it for me in this video. So stay tuned as I actually try to make my attempt in going through this race day event, the 2020 GTE Endurance Championship. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.